This is an exclusive excerpt from the Stuff File program with Peter Anthony Holder.
It's been 50 years since the release of the classic Hollywood musical West Side Story. Those who know the film well will remember George Chakiris, who played the role of Bernardo, the leader of the Sharks in that movie, a role that won him an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor. It is an honor to have on the line with us right now Academy Award-winning actor George Chakiris. Hi, George.
Hey, hi there. Thank you very much.
Thanks for being on the show with us. It's almost hard to believe that half a century has gone by since that classic film first came out, and that film...
When you put it that way, half a century, it's so incredible because no way does it begin to feel anything like that. I mean, but it is. It's 50 years, absolutely.
Not only that,
it feels like...
Not only that, but the film still holds up, too.
Yeah, you know what? I think it does. We went to a couple of screenings at Avery Fisher Hall and at Lincoln Center where the David Newman conducted that incredible Leonard Bernstein score, and there was a screening at the same time. So I haven't seen the movie for a long time, and when I look at it now, I'm objective, and I hope I am. When I look at myself, it's not me. It's like I don't feel it's me. So, but I do think it holds up. It's such a wonderful movie, and the creative guys behind this, this piece in the theater, and then the film, were just amazing guys in their respective fields. Jerome Robbins, Leonard Bernstein, Stephen Sondheim, Arthur Lawrence for the theater, and Ernest Lehman, who did the screenplay. Robert Wise. These are amazing people, So they did a great thing here.
Now, I know you had the opportunity to play in West Side Story on stage, but you didn't play the role of Bernardo on stage.
No, I didn't. I first auditioned for Jerry Robbins for the role of Bernardo, and then he asked me to look at the role of Riff, which I did, and I took 20 minutes to look at the role of Riff, and then I read for Riff, and eventually was cast to play Riff for the London company. Yeah, which was incredible. It was just, it's all just too good,
So how did you go from being cast in the stage production to the film production, and were you surprised that Bernardo came your way for the film and not the other character?
I'll tell you what, the whole thing surprised me because when we were doing the play in London, I did it for a year and a half. News started to filter over about the upcoming film production, and we were hearing names like Elvis Presley and Elizabeth Taylor. So none of us ever dreamed that we'd, just never crossed my mind. Certainly not. But one day, 5 of us in the London company were asked to do film tests, and my test asked me to do a scene as Riff and a scene as Bernardo. And then the weeks started to go by, and anyway, I ultimately was asked to go to Los Angeles, to Hollywood. It was great because I hadn't seen my family for a year and a half, and I met Bob Wise for the first time, and then I did test for the role of Bernardo, and Jerry Robbins directed the scene. And then I went back into the play again to wait to see what happened with that screen test. And some weeks later, I did get the telegram that told me I had the job. It was fantastic,
Now, you had had a great career leading up to that. You were in Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. You were in White Christmas. There's No Business Like Show Business, Brigadoon, the list goes on. But you come across this role, West Side Story, a big musical in the early 60s, and then the Academy Awards comes around, and you get nominated. What was it like, first of all, when you got nominated, and also then when you won?
Well, I'll tell you, it was so odd. West Side Story in 1962, the early part of 1962, was the royal film performance in the presence of Her Majesty the Queen at the Leicester Square Theatre in London. And there was, at that time, the film was being screened with an intermission. And during the intermission, Robert Wise and Russ Hamlin was there, and Richard Beamer was there. We went into a lounge or something somewhere, and at that very time, while we were taking that break was going on. Robert Wise had gotten a call from Los Angeles telling him what the nominations were, and he told me that I was nominated. I don't even know what I thought, quite honestly. It was just, there was something very quiet about hearing that. But and then the incredible thing about winning it was just, I hate to use that word winning. We're not supposed to use that word, are we? But about well, getting it, I guess, was I attended the Academy Award ceremony in '62 with Rita Moreno. We went together, and my category came up first, and I was lucky. And then later, Rita's category came up, and she was very lucky. Anyway, it was such an incredible evening for both of us. It was a fantastic time, and that when they call the names, the nominees are, the way I always try to equate the way it felt was, if you buy a lottery ticket, you don't really expect to win, but you kind of hope you will. And that's what it kind of felt like. I mean, I heard my name, and it all happens so quickly. But then when they do, when your name is called, and my name was called, it was like, I don't know, you're just sort of on another planet, or something. You're just so overwhelmed, or whatever it is. I can never think of the right adjectives. I think most people have a hard time describing what it felt like, but it was a heady experience. It was wonderful. It was great. It was terrific. It was just it was all wonderful. It was great. And again, because I was with Rita, and since we both won, it was just a fantastic memory for both of us.
Now, you reached the top of your game, winning the Academy Award for such a great film as West Side Story, the top of your creativity, but you've also achieved a creative success in another world, and that is with the George Chakiris collections. Tell us about that.
Well, in working in theater and all that kind of stuff, I've done a lot of traveling, and I've done a lot of work in different parts of the world. And usually when you're having an engagement like that, it's 7, 8, 9 months. And at that time, I had a little Italian greyhound, a little beautiful little, amazing little dog. His name was Sammy. And when I came back I was doing a play in London, and this was about 10 years ago. And I came back and I looked at Sammy, my incredible little guy, and I thought, 7, 8, 9 months is a long time out of his life. And I decided I was going to stay home, not go anywhere, just, take a break. And then just by accident, I started taking jewelry, silversmithing lessons, classes in the evening. And little by little, it just took over. I loved doing it so much. And without trying to create a collection, that never occurred to me at the time. I was just doing it because I wanted to stay home with my great little dog. And then the creative thing of doing this was, it just took over. It absolutely took over. And a few years had went by, and without realizing it, I had kind of like the beginning of a collection. And I worked with a manufacturer downtown Los Angeles. They helped me with some things, and they introduced me to a Japanese distributor who liked my stuff. And anyway, he's now my distributor in Japan. I mean, to flash forward to now, and I'm selling in Japan. All the department stores in Japan are just so amazing. We don't know. Our department stores are good, but they're not quite as extravagant as the Japanese department stores. But it's an incredible store called Mitsukoshi. So I've been selling there for a couple of years, and all of this happened. I didn't plan it; it just happened. And now I have the website, and I'm in the process of trying to introduce my jewelry here if I can. I won't hold my breath, but that's kind of how it transpired, really, in hopefully kind of a nutshell. but I just loved doing it a lot. I mean, it was I took either a right or a wrong turn. I don't know, but it just took over, and the process of doing it was so gratifying that I didn't miss show business. I just didn't miss it at all. So I'm not retired from show business because my mind is always open to it, but I'm just so involved in the jewelry thing that it's kind of enough, for me right now. It really is.
Well, we've got just about a minute, so I want to mention that people can check out the collection at georgechakiris.com. As I said in the opening, it's 50 years since the movie came out, West Side Story, and I understand you'll be placing your hands in cement along with Rita Moreno and Russ Tamblyn on the 15th of November.
Yeah, on the 15th of November. It's just incredible how things happen. To me, it's kind of like a full circle kind of thing. We're doing our handprints at Grauman's Chinese Theater on 11 o'clock in the morning. And just very quickly, if you don't have time, tell me and I'll stop. But to me, one of the things that is kind of awesome about that, doing that, is the very first thing I studied was dance, and literally a block at 7021 from Grauman's Chinese Theater, and I rented a room a couple of blocks on the other side. I worked during the day, took class at night. 10 years later, West Side Story premieres at Grauman's Chinese Theater, and then a year later, Rita and I, got the Academy Award thing, and then 50 years later at Grauman's again, and it's just, I don't know, it's a fantastic kind of circle,
It's the circle of entertainment life. George, congratulations on all you do, and I thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us.
Thank you. I appreciate your time very much. Thank you so much.
Academy Award winner George Chakiris. You can check out his website at georgechakiris.com, and you can go to my website at thestuffile.com, go to the What's On page for this show, which is show number 0116, and you'll find links to George's website.
You've just heard an exclusive excerpt from the Stuff File program with Peter Anthony Holder. To hear any or all of the full hour-long shows, visit thestuffile.com. Stuff is spelled S-T-U-P-H. That's thestuffile.com. A presentation of Flying Fish Communications.